Welcome to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein, talking about the evolutionary, the revolutionary, the inspiration and the perspiration, and those aha moments that change everything. And now, here's your host, Rich Goldstein.
Rich Goldstein here, host of the Innovations and Breakthroughs podcast, where I feature top leaders and the path they took to create change. Past guests include Joe Polish, Roland Frazier, and Monica Floyd. This episode is brought to you by my company, Goldstein Patent Law, where we help you to protect your ideas and products. We've advised and obtained patents for thousands of companies over the past 28 years. So if you're a company that has software, a product, or a design you want protected, go to goldsteinpatentlaw.com, where there are amazing free resources for learning about the patent process. And you can email my team at welcome@goldsteinpc.com to explore if it's a match to work together. You could also check out the book I wrote for the American Bar Association that explains in plain English how patents work. It's called the ABA Consumer Guide to Obtaining a Patent. I have with me here today Antoine Allen. Antoine is an award-winning filmmaker, the owner of independent production company Antoine Allen Films. Antoine began his career in film production while he was successfully managing independent hip-hop artists. He has since made 4 successful feature-length films, including Lola, a film about a female boxer, which premiered in 2020. And with his second Lola film, which is about to be released, Antoine will have the first female boxing movie franchise. I was at a screening of the second Lola movie just a few days ago, and it was fantastic. Antoine is passionate about inspiring young entrepreneurs and artists to achieve bigger dreams than they currently have for themselves. I'm thrilled to welcome here today my friend Antoine Allen. Welcome, Antoine.
How you doing, buddy? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I want to kind of tell a little bit of your backstory here, or talk about a little bit of your backstory here, kind of like how you got into filmmaking. So if you want to give us the the brief version of kind of how you got to be making films and kind of living your passion.
Yeah, if someone told me a few years ago I'll be this award-winning filmmaker, I would probably laugh in their face. Sometimes God got a great sense of humor for you. I never wanted to be a filmmaker. I was in the music business. So I wanted to be like the CEOs, like the Puff Daddy, the Jimmy Iovine. I wanted to run my own music production company. I used to manage artists, and I used to direct music videos. But during that time, things wasn't going as planned, because when you manage a talent, especially from the inner city, you're not only a manager, you're a babysitter, you're a counselor, you're a mother, you're a father, because they go into their own trauma, especially coming from a tough environment. I came from Southside Jamaica, Queens. So I did that for a while, and I realized that I wasn't reaching my full potential. Things start not being fun no more. I started being stressed out because the people I was working with, they was either getting locked up, getting in trouble. Amazing talent, but when you kind of like fix yourself or work on yourself, and you in a toxic environment, sometimes they don't match.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone that goes to counseling and trying to be better. Another person is just trying to figure things out. So I decided I had 2 options in life, because I was getting to the point I wasn't happy. I decided either to quit, because most people do quit, or I decided to reinvent myself. So I did a lot of music videos. A lot of my music videos were like movies. I decided to do my first short film. My first short film was Split Decision. And it was the short film version of Lola. A lot of people don't know that, but Lola started with a short film. And once I did that, I won my first film festival. I won tons of awards. I fell in love. I was like, wow, I didn't know, I didn't go to college for this. I didn't have no mentors. I didn't have no family that was in the business. I just tried something, and I fell in love with it. And I tell everybody, you want to find something that makes you happy, fall in love with something. Because we know when we're in love with somebody, we do anything and everything. And that's how I got into this business. And I used to box when I was younger. So I didn't know all those years later. I used to box like amateur fights or up-and-coming fights at Gleason Gym in Brooklyn. And I didn't know all those years later, I'll be the owner of a female boxing franchise. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, I was curious about that too. It was like, kind of like, why boxing? And so, I mean, you gave me part of the answer here, which is that you have been a boxer. Like you've boxed before, and It was an activity that you enjoyed, but like I'm curious, like I think there's something deeper there too about the boxing that like
When
part of the story you want to tell.
yeah, actually, it's really not. Lola came about. So Rocky was a big film that I love, and I was saying to myself, for my first film, because Lola was my first short film, was saying to myself, what movie I could do that could stand out. That when people look at my project, like, wow, this is different. And I chose a boxing film. I didn't choose any boxing film. I chose a female boxing film. When I do any type of projects, I like to stand out. A lot of times we make the same story twice. I didn't want to do that. So I choose stories that it can stand out and it's marketable. And that's how Lola came about. I didn't really like boxing. I did it when I was younger to get out of the streets, not get in trouble. But I just did Lola, the female boxing film, just to stand out and just to be different in the conversation.
Got it. And that's actually something that came about that we did you had a Q&A after your screening this weekend and people had asked about certain plot choices in it. And I think that's really what you were talking about is that like a lot of the plot choices were this hasn't been done before, right?
Yep.
So
I just want to do stories that if it's done before, it's not done on the main level or consistency. So I always try to do choices that's not done on a regular. That's how I believe you should stand out. Use your imagination. You could always, we're not saying reinvent the wheel, but you could reinvent the wheel and add your own sauce to it that makes you stand out.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And I just think that's an interesting way to make creative choices is to look for the kind of the road less traveled.
Yeah, yeah.
And cool. And so you know, uh, like a big thing like a big theme of yours is empowering people. I mean, I was reading it about you and info about you about how you like to help people to live their dreams in a way that they didn't even think possible. And it's kind of funny. That's like a way that I often describe myself and what I do is like,
hmm
I help people to protect their ideas, but a lot of times what I'm doing too is I'm counseling them to do something that they've never done before that they didn't even imagine themselves doing. Like
Yeah.
so and to me like a big word for that is empowerment, right? And so like I'm passionate about empowering people, and when I read that I loved it because it's like wow, that's kind of a way in which we're both similar is we're both about empowering people. um
Yeah, yeah. I grew up homeless. I grew up poor. I grew up in a very toxic environment, and I didn't have no one like me that empowered me. So I'm a firm believer. Instead, you complaining about the situation, be a part of the solution. So since I had to be that stuff for myself, I want to do it for other people because I know how it feels. Like you have this thing inside of you, you want to get out of it, but all you need is some guidance. Once I saw certain people in my life, like a Tyler Perry or a Jay-Z or the 50 Cents, they come from my state, my borough, except Tyler Perry. But for me, I only need to see one person do it, and that would give me the fire. And I was the underdog. I'm still the underdog. And those people I fight for the underdogs, the ones that have every reason to give up, but find every reason to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like what are some things that you think are really useful for giving someone the ability to see a bigger vision for themselves? Like what are some things that you think help to empower someone who's in a situation like that?
Yeah, I think the main thing when it comes to me, I'm showing them it's possible. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't come from none of that stuff. I came from the dirt, the ground, and I turned my pain into purpose. So when you talk to people and they see, wait a minute, you didn't go to college for this? No, I actually was a special ed student. You didn't have the best family? No, I don't. I left my house at 20 years old. I've been on my own since I was 20. So when they see someone that actually come for nothing and turn this into what we turn into now, that's inspire people. That show people it's possible. When a person speak about you need to go after your dreams that have everything, it doesn't feel the same because you didn't go do nothing. But the person that went through that grit and actually turned their pain into purpose, turn water into wine, the stories hits a little different. It feels a little different because they know that it's possible.
Yeah, so it sounds like by example, like that's the way in which
Yeah,
you really believe
yeah,
in empowering people is by showing them like, hey, look at me. I'm like you. I've had a background like you, and look what I've done and where I am, and you can do it too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That's what helped me. When I look at 50 Cent Curtis, 50 Cent Jackson came from my neighborhood, Southside Jamaica, Queens, and see what he become now. It's amazing. Jay-Z, Sean Carter, see what they become now. It's amazing. Tyler Perry, see what they came from. And now it's amazing. It shows that it's possible. You just need to better yourself and realize that, time not gonna wait for nobody. Just not. But you could do something with that time. If you want to have a better life, just try it. If it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. But the worst thing about me is I don't want to be an old man full of regret.
got it. So
Yeah.
that's part of the example that you're living too is really going for the thing that matters to you, going for your dream,
Yeah.
to not be an old man filled with regret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and so now, like in terms of like empowering people, I've seen like in your movies, you add elements that are really about showing people um, that something is possible. Like that's part of the plot and part of the dialogue in your films. It seems like you want to use your films as a way to also empower people. So tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so a lot of my films, you're going to see a part of me in it. So it's kind of like putting the candy in the medicine. I'm going to give you what you want, but you're going to learn something on the way. Because if you're going to sit in the movie theater or take your time to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, I want to teach you something. I want to teach you that this kid from Southside Jamaica, Queens, I'm not only entertaining you, but also showing you that, wait a minute, I could learn something in this situation. And that's most films don't show you that. Most films just entertain you, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that, but I also want to educate you at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you want to share your growth path with other people. And like what you were
Yeah.
describing before when working with the hip hop artists is that like a lot of times you notice that you are not at the same plane as other people. You've grown and they haven't grown. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's like a mismatch. And it sounds like you wanted to bring them along. It's just it's kind of it takes something, right? It takes something to get someone else to grow and move to the next level. So like you seek to share your growth journey like through your plot, through dialogue, through your movies.
Yeah, like I said, you can't take everybody with you. Not everybody growing at the same pace. All you can do is give people an opportunity, and it's up to them to go to that door. And sometimes we won't go to that door. And this is not for everybody. That's another thing. This is not for everybody. Find what makes you happy. Find what makes you comfortable. A lot of people working their jobs right now, they hate. They hate, they're miserable, and they can't get out of it. I was that person before. I was working at jobs, I hate it, but I had to find my way out. I got my way out of it. But yeah, it's just I'm just trying to show people that what growth look like, what success look like, what bettering yourself look like. This is really possible. I didn't believe it before, but now over the 10 years I put in that work, I put myself first, and faith will work. Some beautiful things can happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, let's talk about that work. So basically you have bootstrapped your dream. And meaning like you didn't have any like big backers to help you get into filmmaking. Like
Yep.
you bootstrapped your own dream. You kind of you made your own money through your 9 to 5, and you used it to finance your and your filmmaking. So tell me a
Yeah.
bit about that.
Yeah. So I believe you need to have a job and a dream. A lot of people is not where they at because they're waiting to get picked. I come from the music business. So the music business and the film business is two different business. The music business, when a record label say no, we make our own label. We sell our CDs out the truck. The music business is more building your own table. And the film business is hurry up and get good and wait. I hate waiting. I don't like it.
Mhm.
So I'm big on building your own table. So when I got in the film business, I'm like, why y'all guys not doing anything? And I realized that's the culture. we work, and we wait for someone to pick us. When I see people saying I put in work for 20, 30 years, what I really hear, this is my coach, I really hear that you've been waiting 20, 30 years. We find money for vacation, women, men, material. We gotta, spend the money on ourselves. And now you have no excuse. With all this technology and internet, like back in the day, I could understand more, but now you just have no excuse. You can make a film on your phone. You can make a short film for like $1,000, $2,000. There's just no excuse now. So when things not happening the way you want to happen, especially now, you have to look in the mirror. And also with me too, I had to think about accountability. Because at first I was never like this before. I was a person that making excuses, why, just blaming everybody. And I realized when I was in my 30s, I was like, Antoine, you're being lazy. You're not doing anything. You're expecting everything, but you're not doing nothing. You're not even doing the bare minimum. So when I switch and reprogram myself, that's what it is. You got to reprogram yourself. Because we've been programmed just to be pieces on the board, not owners. So once I reprogram myself, I'm like, wait a minute, I could do this. I could, and now I'm attracting the people I want. I'm attracting no big backers. I'm attracting them. That's because I planted seed already. You can't, ask for a whole garden if you didn't plant one seed.
Yeah. So then what does that new program look like? Like if you had to narrow it down to a set of phrases or a mantras, like the new program, what does it say?
The new program is one, don't ask for something that you not want to do for yourself. Don't ask for a big investment. You're not investing in yourself. Do more for yourself. It's no different than if you're a real estate agent and you're trying to sell your house or you're trying to sell houses. You got to put things together. You got to do a website. You might want to dress a little bit different. You might want to look a little bit good. Do more for yourself. You attract that. It's no different. It's like the honey and the bee. If you ain't got nothing sweet, nothing coming to you, you got to do more for yourself. A lot of times we think talent is enough. Talent is a bonus now. It's like a car that looks beautiful with no engine. You're not going nowhere. So the reprogramming is do more for yourself. Don't just wait for someone to do it for you. Be more proactive. If you want to be an actress, stop waiting for a casting or actor. Stop waiting for a casting director to pick you. Maybe you need to produce your own short film and put that out there. If you want to be a director, instead you waiting for people to give you money to direct your first film so people see, oh, I can do that. Because the reality is, when you step in a room with anybody that got money or got influence, if they ask you, what have you done? And you're like, oh, I did this and that. And then I come in the room, I'm getting a deal. Because I invested 20 short films. I invested in 2-3 short feature films. I sold out movie theaters and paid for the theater. So I'm doing more for myself to build my brand. So we live in an era now that you don't have to wait. So the reprogramming is stop moving like an employee. Move like you're the supervisor. Move like you're the manager. Be more proactive for yourself.
Yeah, be the business owner. So it's like choose yourself and create your own sandbox.
Yeah, and then also too, fear, and I've been there. So everything I'm saying, I went through all this. Fear is it's hard because a lot of time we create all this stuff in our head, and all it is in our head. It's not even real. It's that doubt. Know that you're enough. Know that at the end of the day, you have two choices. You could try and fail, or you can not try and die. Those are two options you have. There's no other option.
Right. And kind of declare yourself of what you want to be like, hey, I could be a doctor in a movie.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. And then get the right.
I could totally do that. Right.
Yeah. It just putting yourself out there. And, I look at 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a big influence on me. 50 Cent is from my neighborhood. This man got shot up multiple times, was in jail, got blackballed by the industry. And now he's one of the top worldwide moguls, got multiple shows on TV. If he could go do that, and we're crying about whatever we're crying about, our priorities are messed up.
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean that reprogramming has worked for you. It's worked for you to kind of keep you on top of the direction you want to go. You've got a vision and you nominate yourself to fulfill on that vision.
It's no different than it's no different than having an iPhone. When the iPhone's going is old, what do? You upgrade it. Mm-hmm. New information. A lot of people walking around with the same 1999 mindset. They're not upgrading, they're not reprogramming. Those things you have to do.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, I like that. There's an analogy I've heard before like that. It's has do with maps. It's like, like you've got a map that, like as a child, you create maps of the world. Like, this is the way that people are. This is the way I need to act towards adults, or, like people are a certain way. I am a certain way. The world is a certain way. You create a map of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like if you move to a different city and you're still using the same old map.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like you're still saying like, oh, I go down the block and I turn left to go to the coffee shop. No, that doesn't apply here. And so we bring like the old map, we bring it to our new reality, which isn't the same reality. And we need a new map.
Yeah. There's a new, like, perfect example, right? You are a lawyer in 2 feature films that I'm a part of off a Clubhouse app.
Right.
It's people that been doing the same method and can't even get in one movie. You gotta switch things around, man. You gotta be open to change.
Yeah. No, and the kind of the parallel there too is just like I kind of declared it. I said like, hey, I could do that.
Yeah.
And I believed it, and Monica believed it, and you believed it, and we did it, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. It's all about put yourself out there.
And most of the people that are out there, kind of going to audition after audition or whatever, they wouldn't believe that that's possible, that it could be that simple.
Because the reprogramming.
Right.
You gotta reprogram. You gotta find different things. Talent, like I said, talent is a bonus. But a lot of my success is not because I'm the talented director, it's because my business sense, the decisions I make. It's gonna be way directors that's way better than me. It's gonna be writers that's way better than me. But what they won't do, they won't out hustle me because the hustle is so separate.
Right.
And that you gotta realize,
And you create your own opportunities. Like you just create your own opportunities in the world. That's awesome. And let's talk about Lola. So so the second Lola movie is, I mean, I attended the screening this past weekend. It was amazing. First of all, I couldn't believe the production value you got out of, like, you didn't have a huge studio budget, but the movie to me was basically indistinguishable from a large studio film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, visually gorgeous. The acting was like amazing. You had the amazing people that you've put together to be in this film. So I was very impressed with that. Like, you got a lot out of, I know it wasn't a huge budget, but you got a lot out of it. So tell me about the film, and tell me about the kind of like what's happening next with the film.
So let's tell you how Lola got here. Lola 1, I did Lola as a short film a few years ago. And then from there, at the time, I wanted to do a series, but I didn't have the money for it. So what I did was, since Lola was my first short film, it was court split decision, but I switched it to Lola because of Rocky. I wanted a name. So I did a whole bunch of other films. And then I finally said, well, I'm going to revisit Lola again. So I got my money together for my job, got some friends and family. We shot Lola 1. Lola 1 did incredibly well independently for me. It did really well. A lot of press. It's on Tubi TV right now. It did really well. It was on Fox Soul. It was on Comcast. It did really well. Then I said, I'm going to do Lola 2. COVID happened. I was like, damn. So I started reaching out to people to help me with Lola 2. Everybody said no. I got 2 yes, but everybody said no. The first yes I got from this amazing, incredible person called Monica Floyd. I met Monica on an app called Clubhouse. I keep telling people this. Clubhouse, if you have your stuff together and you're ready for the blessings, you can meet some amazing people. We gotta be ready for it. So I met Monica on Clubhouse, on this app. I pitched the idea I have, and she was really she loved the idea. I said, "Hey, watch Lola 1." She did never watch it. She's the type of person that's why we clicked. For me, I'm more invested in people. You can have the best project in the world, but if I don't like you and you're not a good person, I'd rather bet on people. That's the thing that we don't bet on. We bet on if you know this person, if you know that politics, that don't last. I want to bet on people. So Monica bet on me. We got together. She funded majority of the film, and I was like, wow, off an app, and she really believed in me. And I thank her to this day because we both have the same mindset. We get things done. We met in March. We saw filming in July. That don't happen at all. It's people that have resources and money and all this stuff and never get nothing done. So what me and Monica accomplished, it shows you that take the ego away, take the pride away, just do the work. And we got more projects coming. Lola 2 will be released most likely at the top of next year. Lola 1 is out now. You can watch it on Tubi TV. But me working with Monica really showed me that, once again, when you put yourself out there, when you bet on yourself, you're going to get 101 no's, but you only need that one yes. And me and Monica, I'm from New York. She's from Baltimore. She lives in California now. To meet off an app, that's like that. If you don't believe in magic and faith, that's what it was, magic and faith. Because that was crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I met Monica on the app too, and but it also ties into something that I really believe is that when you express yourself, when you authentically express your vision and who you are and what you're about and what you want to accomplish, you'll attract people that are also aligned with that. People that have a similar vision or believe in your vision, and you don't need a whole lot of people. You just need to find a few people that that are aligned with you like that. And but I think the secret to kind of what I'm saying is like, or the kernel of it is that what's necessary is your self-expression. Like if you're not expressing what's true to you, you'll never find the people that are aligned with you about that. So you need to express, and follow your vision.
Yeah, and once you express the other part, this is what happened when you ask for those blessings. Once you ask for those blessings, you gotta be ready for it. A lot of times people ask for blessings, and when I have a friend right now, I was just on the phone with him. He was asking for something for his project. It happened, but he dropped the ball. He wasn't ready. So you can ask what you want to. You can ask, I want this, but you're not mentally ready for those blessings. You drop the ball. But Monica gave me this setup. I hit it. You've seen it. We went to Atlanta, a state that I never felt in Atlanta before. And we shot during COVID. She opened the door, gave me a blessing, and I hit it out the park. So when you get those blessings, get those opportunities, don't just ask for it, be ready for it. A lot of times, I know for a fact, if any other filmmaker would have met Monica on that app and asked for what they asked for, they would have dropped the ball. Yeah. The lot of them was not ready. Like I have, before Lola 2, I'd done 15, 20 short films, 2, 3 features on my own, and I got my own team. So another thing too, the reason why Lola 2 looks so amazing, not only the funding with Monica, it's all about who you get around the team. Because I picked my own team to do this film. So it's all about, you got all the money in the world. It's all about who's behind the cameras, who behind the certain picking. That's what because I've seen a lot of films that cost a lot of money that look horrible. So it's all about the team and who's behind everything.
Yeah. And I think that's true across the board. It always is all about the team. It's what makes all the difference in executing on your vision and getting the results you're looking for. And just another note on that too. Monica is approached by, she'll say like thousands of people approach her, but they're not prepared. And so I guess the difference, like one big difference is that I guess you approached her and you were prepared, you were ready, and you were ready to have that collaboration.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for those blessings. Like a lot of people, like I said, they're in love with the idea, but not the process. I'm coming season already. I'm coming that, we shot Lola, I want to say a total of 20 days. And we shot Lola, another thing that you don't know, Rich. Most action films or boxing films, or most films that got a decent budget, they shoot with 2 cameras or 3 cameras. I shot that whole movie with 1 camera.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't. Yeah, a lot of people can't do what I can do. So I know how special I am. I know God made me special, and that's why me and Monica work. Two special people came together and knocked out a park.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to Lola getting out there into the world. Not just because I play a little part in it, but it's just it's awesome. It's awesome, and you guys are awesome. I mean, I love you and Monica. You guys are just fantastic people that not only follow your path and your vision, but you just empower other people. You stand for other people. Like you know that what's important in life is other people and the way that you treat them. And I just really appreciate that about you and her, and looking forward to its success.
Yeah, you did a great job in the film. You came prepared, you came ready, came to your lines, and you knocked out the part. And like I said, when you do your work, sometimes you get rewarded, sometimes you don't, but eventually you will get rewarded.
So if people want to learn more about you or get in touch with you, how do they go about doing so?
They could go to AntoineAllenFilms.com. That's my official website. You go on the website, check out my other movie, check out Lola 1. And yeah, look forward for Lola 2, 2023.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Antoine. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. This was awesome.
No problem. Thank you for, putting yourself out there and being this amazing actor, lawyer, trademark, patent. Live your dream, buddy. Live your dream.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein. Be sure to click subscribe, check us out on the web at innovationsandbreakthroughs.com, and we'll see you next time.